then. There we go. So how can we make today more interesting? Let's see. So we have the Christmas movie box office challenge. Christmas movies are the best movies. How much they make at the box office? Power distribution is what we're interested in showing off. So I'm going to start a code sandbox, and we're gonna open the data set and see what kind of data we have. Oh, and I should set a timer so that this doesn't take more than an hour. Alright, so got the data set. Cool. Alright, so the data set is pretty short actually. Okay, so recent sandboxes. Let's see how many people saw this one, because I'm curious. 200. That's not that many, but it will do. Go back to this one, and how many saw this one? 1700. That's a lot better. Okay, create React sandbox. Update available. Cool, and let's do it. Christmas movies at the box office, and okay, that forked it, and we add what's the format we were doing this in again? Let's see. I wonder if the chat room I have open since yesterday will connect. Let's try restarting it just in case. So new chat room. No, this is the chat room. Where's the chat room? This is the chat room. Okay. Better. Make it smaller. Okay. Right, so ReactVizHoliday day 3. Cool. Now what's the let's see, we said we need the data set, so we're gonna copy this over again. New file, data.tsv is what we found is the most useful, and we say movie and box office. Let's also add the year, and we're gonna do ordering by, yeah, let's see, I think the year would be useful, so we're gonna add that, and we're gonna parse it automatically when we parse the thing. Hey Carlos, how's your day going so far? Did I copy this thing? Yes. Okay, now let's see if JavaScript is smart enough to parse this as a number. So I'm gonna open the console and say number of this, and it's going to be a string. Does it parse it? It does not parse that. Alright, so we have to take this and do Command F, replace that with a dot. There we go. So this is now a data set that we're going to be able to parse. Right, so the next one, as usual, is going to be we're gonna add the dependency of D3, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna use styled components as well. Hey, I'm Biskin, how are you doing today? Got that. So now we change this guy to a React component. Parse to JSON. Winter pineapples, yeah, that's basically what we're gonna do. We're gonna use d3.tsv to parse it to JSON, and I am tempted to do it using hooks. Do I know hooks enough to do it with hooks? Oh, that's awesome, Carlos. What are you moving to Boston for? Okay, let's do it with hooks. So we have function app. Yes. Okay, so function app, and we're gonna change dependencies for React to use, let's see what happens if I do this. React, and we, no, not that React. Let's try adding alpha React. There we go. Alpha 2. Cool. That one, and we need to add React DOM as well. Alpha next. Cool. Now let's see if there is a hook for let's see, React hooks. I know there's a, oh yay. Okay, introducing hooks at a glance, hooks API reference. Perfect. Oh, that's useful. Okay, we're gonna deal with that some other time. So we have use state, use context, use reducer, use memo, use imperative methods. What's that? I think use let's see, use effect, use state. So we're gonna need state. Let's see. So we're gonna need state, which is going to be for our data. So we're gonna say const. Is it const or is it let? Yes, const. We're gonna say data and set data equals use state. So that's gonna give us our somewhere to store our state, and then I think we can use effect to load it. If I remember correctly, what's use memo? Memoized value, we don't need that right now. Contains imperative, possibly effectful code. Mutation, subscriptions, timers. Instead, the function passed use effect will run after the render is committed to the screen. As an escape from React's pure. Okay, that's not what we want. Let's see. Okay, we don't want a reducer. Lazy initialization. No, don't. Ooh. The initial action is applied during. This is useful for computing an initial state that includes values passed via props. Let's see. Use callback. No. Memo, no. Ref, no. Imperative methods. Customizes the instance value that is exposed to parent components. Signature is identical to but fires synchronously after all DOM mutations. Okay, let's see. I think list of React hooks. I'm sure this exists. Somebody has definitely built this already. Awesome React hooks. There we go. I should add my D3 black box to that. Rehooks. Okay. So I'm trying. Basically, what I'm trying to do is find a hook that is specific for loading data. And I am being lazy, so I'm trying to get one. Okay, document title, document visibility, network status, online status, Windows scroll, Windows size, use perfunctor, const state, easy peasy, Mobex React, promise hook, fetch ad hoc data into your components. That looks cool. Hook for subscribing to content loaded. Let's see, load. React hook for loading data. Okay. Let's see what other ones. A portable fetch. We don't need. I do not actually use a VPN. I'm way too lazy to deal with that. Why do you ask? It's 36 versus 1. What is React refetch? Fetch data for React components. So basically, my problem right now is that I want to use hooks to run something only on component did mount, but not on additional renders. So I guess what I could do is say use effect and use a condition. Conditionally firing an effect. Okay, so I could say. Okay, so I think if I do this, use state null, that's the default state, and we say use effect, where the effect is loading data. Yeah. So the effect loads data. So d3.tsv from /data.tsv, then console log the data, and we only do this if data does not exist. So let's see. Will it work? Use state is not defined. Where do I get use state? Use state and use effect. D3 is not defined. Okay. Import asterisk as D3 from D3. Cool. Must return a cleanup function or nothing. Okay. So we gotta make sure we're not returning anything. How do we do that? Like that. Return. Oh, we don't need a return. So we now have d3.tsv, and we're gonna end. Let's see, where was I? So data.tsv, and we're gonna use the thing. What's the thing called? I said the thing would be called, oh no, it's just parsing data. So we're gonna return for each data point, we're gonna say movie is d.movie and box office is d.boxoffice, like that. But we are also gonna add the year. So we're gonna say year is d.movie. Is that what we call them? Pretty sure it is. Public data CSV. So movie and box office. Movie dot how do we, let's do it this way, match of backslash d plus and like that and that. So we have a regex that takes numbers out of parentheses, and we take the first one of those and then console log. So let's see what that gives us. Okay, transpiling dependencies, console was cleared. Again, transpiling modules because I pressed refresh too soon. Can probably make this a bit bigger even. Why is it being so slow? That's weird. Oh, because there is a syntax error that it's not throwing for some reason. Cool. So great, we have movie, year, and box office. So box office should be a number, and we want years to be numbers as well. And for movies, we're going to remove the year part. Replace backslash d plus. So we're going to replace all of that with an empty string. Let's see if that's working. Come on, transpile modules faster. Not really sure why that's being so slow today. I mean, I'm not going crazy, am I? That was faster yesterday. Maybe if I quit Slack and stuff, that will help. Okay, Slack is not even quitting. Quit IA writer. Let's see, how are we doing here? Am I still moving? I am moving, but I'm also being very... Why are you opening? I said close. So my face is, well, getting cut up. That's weird. Let's just refresh the entire tab, because the hell is going on? OBS is using 400% of my CPU. Nice. And Google Chrome helper is struggling as well. But let's see. Yeah, this is being weird. Oh. So it's so weird. Instead of throwing errors, it's getting stuck in transpiling modules, which is going to make today pretty interesting. So we now have movies with year and box office. This, I think, is millions of dollars. Let's see. Yeah, in US $1 million. Cool. So what's next? We have that stuff. We have our data. We have set data. Okay, so here we say that we say set data. That should work. So now let's see. If I console log data here, it should start as empty and then output everything. Very nice. And for some reason it runs twice, which I guess makes sense. But let's see. Hey Ahi, What's up? I'm hoping it's cool, but you know, you're really gonna have to be the one to tell me. So we're gonna create an SVG next that's going to be 800 by 600 pixels, and inside, how should we show that movies fall in a power curve? I guess one approach we can use is doing like a sorted bar chart. Would that work? Power curve. So the power law states that each in a power law, when you distribute your data, each next level is about twice as big as the previous level, and popularity of movies or box office success of movies tends to follow something like the power law, where you can see that the highest grossing movie makes about twice as much as the next highest grossing movie, and so on all the way to the bottom. So we're gonna try to show that here, and I'm having some trouble deciding what the best way would be to represent that. And so I'm thinking maybe just a vertical bar chart would be good enough. So let's try a vertical bar chart, so movies are horizontal and bars are going horizontally. So we shall see what that does. And we can also fit, oh, that would be cool. So we can try to compare them to the power law by adding let's see. Alright, so that's what we're gonna try. We're gonna render a bar chart, but then we're going to also add the ideal power curve, power law, and see if it fits. Yes, that makes sense. So we're gonna start with ooh, yes, okay, I know what we're doing. So let's do a bar chart, or let's call it a vertical bar chart that takes our data, and that's it for now. It just takes our data, and we're going to create a new file, vertical bar chart.js, and we say import React from React, and then we say export default vertical bar chart equals a function that takes data and returns a bunch of stuff. What's this? Let's see. Oh wow, that opened weirdly. Yep, pretty much something like that. But I think we might align it to the left. We'll see. So vertical bar chart, and we return a grouping element at first, because always it's a good idea to group stuff. What? Const? That make it happier? Export default const. I'm not sure what's going on here, but export default vertical bar chart. That renders a grouping element, and inside the grouping element we do what? So we're gonna iterate over our data, data.map, and for each data point we're going to return a rectangle with a let's see, we're gonna need a band scale and some other stuff. So const y equals d3 scale band, import asterisk as d3 from d3, and we say const y equals d3 dot scale band, where the domain are all of our movies, data.map d.movie. That's our domain. Our domain are basically not file names, but what's it called? I can't remember. So domain, and our range goes from 0 to height. So let's also take height into account. So height is going to be 600, because 600 pixels is a nice height to have. So that's our vertical positioning, which means we position our rectangles at y of d.movie, and we say that their x, so x and y, x is at 0, y is at d.movie, height is at y.bandwidth, and then so that the height is the width of the band, and width is going to be width of d.year. So we're going to be comparing years, not years, box office. So box office revenue ordered by movie name. Width of d3 dot scale linear. The main goes from 0 to d3 max of data, where we care about d dot box office, and the range is from 0 to width. So let's say this is the width scale. Width scale, and let's call this the y scale as well. Y scale, d3 max, width. Let's take width and height as props. So here we say width is going to be also 600, and let's see what shows up, if anything. But I'm pretty sure it should. Y scale.bandwidth, and let's see what happens. Resolving, transpiling, vertical bar chart. We have to import that sucker. Import vertical bar chart from / vertical bar chart. Cannot read property map of null. So we only render the bar chart if data exists. Data end. There we go. So you see, it's kind of being it's being very power lawy. Next one we need received none for the width attribute. So we have something with a bad set of data. Aha, this one isn't a dot. Okay, so now we have all of them. That's our basic shape of the data set. Next we need to show the movie names, and let's add some coloring and some stuff like that. We're gonna say this is a bar. We're going to import styled from styled components like that, and we're gonna say const bar equals style.rect, where what should the color be? Let's make it green for now. Come on, bar is now defined. Oh, not color. Fill is green. Thumb, and I think scale bands have paddings as well. Let's see. Padding inner is what we're gonna call it. So height is going to be minus y scale dot padding inner, and let's see if that gives us some spacing between the bars? No. Each child should have a proper, yeah. What if we say here, when we're defining the scale, if we say dot padding inner is 0.1, there we go. Now we have some padding. Perfect. Now let's add the movie names. So we're gonna define a left margin. So const left margin is, let's say, 300. So x is going to be actually x can be just, yeah, left margin, and we're going to start the range for our width scale at left margin. Now everything should move to the right, and again it's not refreshing autumn. Whoa, that's cool. I had no idea that was possible. What's it complaining about? Left margin here. Cool. So we are not leaving enough space for all the data to show up, but let's see. Or maybe we can show the data points inside the thing. So let's go from 0 and 0, like that, and let's say, oh, that's cool. So inside each bar we're gonna also add a text. So this is going to return a React fragment, React.fragment, and we're gonna add a text inside called a label that says d.movie and label, and we tell labels const label equals styled.text with a fill of white. Let's see if that works. Come on. So we should now see titles of movies in the thing, but they're all up there because we aren't positioning them. X is, let's say, 10, Y is Y scale of d.movie. Cool. And we say font size is 11 pixels. Okay, so how does it do that? Let me tell you in just a second. So we said this is called a center align, I think. Go back to money spent on Christmas. I know we did that yesterday. We learned about this. Line join, money emojis, alignment baseline, central. So that should lift them up a little bit, sort of. Plus, let me just do this real quick. Divided by 2. Okay, perfect. So we have that. Now, how does D3 define d.movie, d.box office, and so on? So the way it works is that there's a file format called TSV, which means tab separated values. TSV is similar to CSV, where in CSV you have comma separated values, and this is tab separated values, which means that everything in a line is separated by these tabs here. These are not spaces, these are tabs, like tab characters, and each of those represents a new column. So D3, when it reads this with TSV, knows that, okay, the first line is the title line, so each column there represents the name of the entire column, and it remembers that, so that when it comes to the next line it says, okay, this becomes d.movie, and this part becomes d.boxoffice, this becomes d.movie, this becomes d.boxoffice, and it goes like that through the entire file. But then for each line in that file, it also runs our function here, which is like a data parsing function, and this function changes movie to become movie without the year part. It takes year out of the movie and adds it as a new column and so on. So that's how D3 reads those things. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have these guys. This is roughly, as you can see, the what's it called? I said this was box office success. So now what I think would be interesting is comparing this box office success to how much money they make per year, because this is not normalized by year, which means that Home Alone, which as an old movie, has had a lot more time than a lot of these other movies to make all of its box office money. So we might be able to tease out something interesting that way. So we're gonna do that. How are we gonna do that? First, we're gonna give each bar a key. Can we give fragments a key? d.movie. Let's see, will it still complain? Guess not. Guess yes. No. Okay, it works. Although a strange line appeared here. So next we say we're gonna need some way to switch between them. But first, let's add a button up here. Yes. No. Yeah, let's do it that way. So we're gonna add a button that says button see per year, box office per year. Cool. Show box office per year, and on click equals toggle per year, and we're gonna use const of per year, and set per year is going to be use state of false, and here we're gonna say const toggle. Actually, yeah, we don't need that. We can do it in here. So on click we're gonna say set per year as the opposite of per year, and show box office per year is going to say if per year, it's going to say show total box office, otherwise show box office per year. So that should now be switching. Let's see if it is. Okay, that is switching, and we're gonna deal with the styling in a little bit. So we have that, and now here when we're defining the vertical bar chart, we're going to pass in a value function that tells it how to get values from our data set, which is going to look like this. Value equals, and if we're doing per year, will that be too hard? No, let's do it this way. Value function, and we're gonna say nah, let's just do it in here for now. Or maybe we don't have to. Let's see. What if we do it this way? Const value function equals, if per year, then the value function takes a data point, so an entry in our data set, and returns d dot box office divided by d dot year divided by 2018 minus d dot year. Should we try to get the current year? Because it is going to be 2019 in 25 days. So let's do it this way. Let's do 2018 because it's going to make the code easier to explain. And if we are not doing per year, if we're doing total box office, we say d and we return d dot box office. So we should now be able to see the entire bar chart flip from per year to not per year. But it doesn't seem to be doing that. So let's see what the value function is. Console log value function, and we should see this re-render. Okay, so it rendered, and when I click this, it is working. Oh, right, the reason it's not, so the value function is changing, but guess what we're not doing? We're not using it. So here we're gonna say we take value and we pass value into d3 max. Here we pass value in there, and where we are getting the width scale, we also pass in value of d. So this gives us a more flexible chart. Let's see if it worked. I'm gonna reload just in case. And it's complaining about this. So we had a syntax error. Tree max. Okay, and I click this. Aha! They all become a lot more similar, which is interesting. Good. Let's add a little transition here. Let's say transition with 500 milliseconds. Cool, cool. And let's see what happens if we also sort them, like sort the data. So we're gonna say data equals, or is there a sort by function? I think there's a sort by function in JavaScript. Sort by. Is it just sort? No, that's sort, but there should also be a sorted. Sorted. I know there's a way to get it to return value the sorted array, sorted in place and no copy is made. I would like it to return a copy, but I guess we don't have to, so let's do it that way. We're gonna say data equals data dot sort by value, and now we should, and here we should say transition width 500 milliseconds, y 500 milliseconds, and let's see what happens. Aha! Would you look at that? Cool. It's kind of sorting weirdly, isn't it? What can we do about that? what can we do about the weird sorting? What if we do that by, so show box office, blup. These guys aren't really getting sorted, are they? This does, to me that doesn't look sorted. So let's see what happens if we console log this stuff. Console log of data. So right now the value is should be Home Alone 285, How the Grinch Stole Christmas 260, Polar Express 186. Okay, so that's good. Now if we flip them, this one should be sorted by their per year stuff. Bad Santa 60.6 divided by, but that's gonna be difficult. Let's make it easier on ourselves and do this. We're gonna pre-calculate the per year numbers in advance. So we're gonna do it this way. Return, and we're gonna take out the year, const year equals, and we're gonna pass in the year, and we're gonna say per year is d dot box office divided by 2018 minus year. That will make it easier for me to see what's going on. So vertical bar here, where we're defining the value function, we're going to change it. It's either going to be d per year or d box office. Alright, I'm going to reload. Would I ever invest in Vue.js? So I have invested a little bit in Vue.js and have played around with it, and I honestly have to say I just don't like the way it feels. The way it feels working in Vue.js, I don't find, like, I just don't enjoy it. So I'm not gonna be making materials on Vue, because I don't know, I might make material, I might make a course in the future, in the near future, on how Angular, Vue, and all of these are similar, like the basic concepts that are the same in all of them. But I'm not gonna make courses just on Vue, because I just don't enjoy how it works. Interesting. The hell just happened? Alright, let's try that again. So Home Alone is the highest grossing Christmas movie with $285 million. And the lowest grossing movie is Bad Santa with $60 million. And when we click show box office, we get the first one, which is Home Alone at 10 millions, which isn't really the first one, is it? Oh, wait, what? And then we have Daddy's Home with, wow, 103 per minute. Yeah, that's Einbisken is right. My impression with my feelings with Vue are that it is very similar to Angular. It's Vue is basically like if you took React and its idea about components, then you took MobX and added it into each Vue component so that it supports. So basically, local state is as if you had MobX, and then you used Angular 1's templating engine to do the actual template syntax, and I just find that terrible and weird. And that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people love it. At my day job, we actually use Vue, which is why I switched to working on the back end. But you know, it's very likely that I just haven't spent enough time with Vue, even though I have built a couple of smaller apps with it, but maybe I just haven't invested enough time for it to grow on me. So why is sorting not working? That is what I'm wondering right now. Oh, do I have to sort it first, perhaps? Okay, so show box office, no, no, no. Okay, so now the sorting isn't doing anything at all, which is very interesting. Okay, so why is this not being resorted? The animation is working, but it's not reassigning movie stuff. Okay, let's see. So we are sorting data by value, and here when we see value is in fact a function, yeah, and you can apparently actually use JSX in Vue, but then that feels like an even weirder combination. Let's here console log what the value function is. So I'm trying to figure this out because it looks like it should be working, but it isn't working. So it is the correct function, and let's see. Console log data map d.movie. So Home Alone, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, The Polar Express, and it should be reordering them, but it isn't reordering them. I can't tell why. What if we do this, d dot per year, and we always sort them by per year revenue? No, it's just not resorting the damn stuff. What is the sort? Oh, right, that's what I'm doing wrong. I forgot how to use the sort function. Ha! So we have a function that returns that gets a and b, and returns value of a minus value of b, and that's actually going to sort them now. Let's see. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if we sort those with a function that takes a and b and returns b minus a, that sorts them around. So here if we say value of b minus value of a, that should in theory sort them the way we want. And it does, yay! Cool. So total box office. So we now have sorting, but the transition just looks terrible. See, they're being resorted very quickly, but why by 1 second? And let's do it here as well. Let's transition Y by 1 second. Maybe that's gonna look better. Oh, right, let's reload. Now that does not look good at all. Okay. Let's add a grouping element here called a bar group, and we're gonna do this here, bar group, and we're actually going to position this guy. So we're gonna say y is y scale of d dot movie. So that's gonna give us common grouping for both of them together. So 0, and this is y bandwidth plus. So we now have a grouping element with a relatively positioned rectangle and what's it called? Rectangle and label. So in here we say const bar group equals a styled grouping element that has this transition of the vertical position, but it needs to be of the transform. Transition of the transform, which is a translate. So let's see if that works. Actually, maybe y works. Let's try y. Let's see. Nope, that doesn't work. So we gotta translate them. So transform with a translate where x is 0 and the vertical position is from our scale, like that. And we say transition the transform, and let's see if that works. It does not work. Alright, we might have to just not have the vertical sorting, unfortunately. And I guess it doesn't actually make sense either. So I'm gonna go back to the way we had it done before. Without the bar group. This is going to be react.fragment, and we're gonna copy the vertical positioning back here and here. React fragment, react.fragment. Oh, no y here. So do I like to prototype more on Code Sandbox versus everything locally with Webpack? Thing is that for these kind of small projects where I'm just showing stuff off and playing around, I don't really want to have everything locally, because I would end up with millions of folders and repositories and stuff on my computer, and it's much easier to just do it in what's it called? Do it in Code Sandbox, because that way it makes it easy to share online, it makes it easy to show off. It's pretty much the same environment as I'm used to in VS Code, and it means I don't have to pollute my computer with a bunch of crap. So from that perspective, this is much better. And basically that's why I do it in Code Sandbox. It's only for when I'm showing stuff off. Import styled from styled components, and we say const button equals styled dot button, and this button is going to have a font. Actually, let's find some nice default styles, but at the very least it's going to have a cursor pointer and a margin minus bottom of 1 EMs. So that should be reloading. Come on. There we go. And let's... Home Alone is the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time. But does that change when you compare revenue per year? But does the story change when you compare revenue per, when you look at your revenue per year, compare revenue per year, when you compare revenue per year? Yeah. And P. Okay. Let's see. Home Alone is the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time, but does the story change when you compare revenue per year? Show box office per year? Yes, of course it does. So for an added trick, I am going to add Kevin in the background. So we're gonna say Kevin Home Alone Scream Scene. GIF. There we go. No, we need a better one. I need something that's like a perfect loop. There we go. That looks good. Although it might be a bit small. Let's see. Giphy Home Alone Scream. There we go. Perfect. That one is perfect. I do not want to add a pic of 30-year-old Macaulay Culkin because he looks terrifying as hell. Or at least he did in those famous photos. So here, index.js, vertical bar chart, SVG. Can I add an SVG background? Of course I can. So SVG, and we say show Kevin equals per year, and here in SVG we're going to say const SVG equals style.svg, like that, and we say background is URL. Let's just make sure first that the basics work. There we go. Okay, so background URL, no repeat, center. How do we make it stretch to the full size? Background image stretch. So the data is coming from this Excel file. I found all the data sets so far for ReactVizHoliday on statista.com. So it's just a file, it's an Excel file that I copy pasted into, what's it called, into this thing here. So I created the data set. Oh, background cover, is it really? Oh yeah, background size cover. Cool. So center cover. No repeat, center cover. Okay. Come on. That background size cover. There we go. And let's do background opacity is 0.7 so that it's a little bit less annoying. How do I set background opacity again? Background image opacity. Transparent background images. CSS tricks. Oh. Okay. Let's try that then. So if I do this, will that work? I kinda have never done that before. So and after? I've never done after stuff with styled components. Styled components after. Support pseudo element. Like that. So that should work, right? No? Doesn't work. Why not? Okay, never mind then. We're gonna try to just not have an opacity. Okay, but we are going to only show this when the correct props are set. Background cover, yeah, we already did that. Styled components props, and it should be, let's see, props, adapting based on props. Aha, wonderful. So like that, and we say we're gonna take props, and it's going to be per year, and if per year we return all of this stuff, otherwise we return nothing. Okay, so let's see if that works. Ooh, filter blur. Okay, I'll try that. Why is it not doing the thing? Styled button, normal button, primary. What if... Oh, it's called show Kevin, not per year. Show Kevin. And show Kevin. Now it should work. Haha. Would you look at that? Let's see, filter blur. Filter blur background. CSS. How to create a blur, CSS3 blur filter. Background image. We filter blur 5 pixels. Okay. Filter blur 5 pixels. Let's see what happens. That happens. So that's not good. but I'm happy that that filters work. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to make that happen because I am out of my time box for today's challenge as well. So I think this is gonna have to do it. Rujaun, I made this thing a while ago that I have been planning to update as well, but maybe I can do something in that direction but make it more involved so that it's more about basic JS. What do you think? So okay, this is gonna have to be it for now. Let's see. Cool. So I'm gonna make a little video to share with the Twitters, and then I will stop live coding and go write the write-up. Let's see. How do I make the video? Record video. Like that. And we say record GIF. Perfect. Okay. Let's stop the thingy. Great. So let's see, save that thing. And also I don't think we can make anything super interesting in a shorter time. And I like to do interesting things, you know? Let's see. Twitter, come on. Twitter.com. This was fun. Write up coming tomorrow. ReactVizHoliday. Even though I am the only person using this thing or using this hashtag. Sorry, the file is too big. Okay, let's make a new file. Where are you? Open shot. Okay, let's quickly take out Twitter so it doesn't go away. And we get clean shot. Record video. Like that. Record GIF. Show box office per year. Perfect. Stop. Let's see now. Oh, it's creating the file. I wonder how large the file is gonna end up being. Quit out of that. And here, let's add the file. So it's 11 seconds now, which should be a little better. 20 megs. Okay, let's open this in come on. Let's see, let's open it in Photoshop real quick and make the GIF smaller. Open with, come on, I know you can open it with Photoshop. There we go, Adobe Photoshop. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Photoshop and me streaming at the same time. I've never tried that before, but I know that Photoshop can be pretty sizable. So, image size. Oh, we don't need it to be that big. It can be 600 by 600, right? Okay, Alt Shift S or Alt Command Shift S is safe for web and devices. Also, I'm pretty sure Adobe CS6 is kind of old at this point, but whatever. Kevin Home Alone.gif. Key. HomeAlone.gif. Perfect. This was fun. Write-up coming tomorrow. Write-up. Let's see. Add this guy. HTTPS. ReactVizHoliday. Tweet out that sucker. Okay, so now I'm actually gonna stop live coding and I will go write that write-up so that I can publish it tomorrow morning. Thanks everyone for watching. Oh, looks like there's up to 9 of you now. So maybe I should do a better job of announcing these things in more advance so people know to start watching. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I should be drumming up an audience sooner. But yeah. Bye guys.